couldn't have anticipated that this course would provide more value for me in my situation than the 2 silent meditation retreats I sat as a student. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm back in the room. I'm back from the monastic lifestyle. I've just finished serving my first 10-day silent meditation retreat as a male manager. And this video aims to sort of recount that experience and give you some insight into what you can expect if you serve at a 10-day silent meditation retreat, or what sort of benefit you might be missing out on if you haven't done it before. So let's get into it. Now, this video is going to first look at why it's important to serve, the benefits that I reaped personally from the practice. Then I want to finish up with some tips on how we can better be of service and how we can approach meditation retreats to get the most out of them. So when I first showed up to the course, I had no idea how much value I would get out of it. So this was my 3rd time attending a silent meditation retreat, my 3rd 10-day course. And the first 2 I sat as a student, and this was my first time serving. And what was really remarkable here was I couldn't have anticipated that this course would provide more value for me in my situation than the 2 silent meditation retreats I sat as a student, which was a very unexpected but welcome benefit. Now, given it was my first time serving, I sort of thought I would be under the radar. I wasn't really going to be involved too heavily with the inner workings of running the course. So when I was pulled aside by one of the head honchos of the retreat center, told to walk up and see the assistant teacher and meet with him, when I was presented with the fact that I would be the male manager for the course, I was initially super anxious about it. One of the things that I struggle with personally is dealing with anxiety. It's been something that's been conditioned into me for a long time. And the more I practice Vipassana, the more I realize and let go of these stories, and I'm overcoming it day by day. But to work meditatively with it, to be a manager, it basically means to be the interface between the students and the assistant teacher. So immediately I was presented with, this is quite out of my comfort zone. But it was a welcome thing because I knew that I wasn't there just to cruise through. You're there to work on your mind, essentially. And this was a brilliant opportunity, so I accepted. And wow, was it good. So why would you even serve in the first place? What sort of benefit is there to be reaped from giving Dharma service? Now, in Buddhism, there are essentially 3 fundamental trainings that we need to develop if we want to achieve awakening and a happy state of mind. These are morality, concentration, and wisdom. Now, when we sit as students, we train. So when we're not serving, what we're presented with is an opportunity to train in concentration and wisdom primarily. You also train in morality, but not as much as when you're serving. When we train in concentration and wisdom, we're basically working to do a massive surgical operation of the mind, bring up all unconscious repressed emotions and traumas, and become established in the technique even further. We refine our experiential understanding of impermanence, non-self, and the nature of suffering. Now, when we serve, we get to do all this as well. But we also train more in morality, to give without expecting anything in return. And this was huge for me because I've never done anything like that before. I don't tend to volunteer too much. I've done some volunteering here and there, but my heart was never really in it. So when we're serving in this way, without expecting anything in return and training in morality, we are training ourselves to bring that out into the real world. We train ourselves to feel more compassion for others. And we train ourselves to basically be more compassionate and happier. So it's a win-win situation. Both parties benefit. Now, the other benefit to serving is it's a pseudo real life experience, and we're really working to integrate the technique of Vipassana meditation into our day-to-day lives. So when we're frantically running around, doing chores and doing all sorts of stuff, you have to simultaneously try and exercise mindfulness. So you're aware of sensation on your body while you're running around. You're aware of the sort of feelings of rushing. And that's so valuable, because when you bring that back to your real life, you take that to the workplace, you basically can operate and suffer far, far less. You're training and developing this faculty to deal with negative emotion in a real world experience, while also having the benefit of being able to train in concentration and wisdom, where basically you're allowed to meditate for 3 hours a day when you're serving, minimum. But as a male manager, I was privileged to meditate for 8 to 9 hours a day, because essentially you always have to be with the students. They're your number one priority, and someone has to be with them in the meditation hall at all times. So you can go deep into the mind, and you can also develop in morality simultaneously. That is the main benefit of serving, and there's a lot of benefit that I personally reaped, which I'm now going to delve into. So I already touched on the fact that this was stepping out of my comfort zone. I was really not expecting to be a male manager the first time serving. So when I felt that fear and anxiety to do it, it was exciting, because I knew that there was some part of me that didn't want to face this. But now was the time. So I was able to face my fears and step out of my comfort zone to deal with people on a more intimate level. Now, as I said, I was also able to meditate for 8 to 9 hours a day. And this was really good, because I got to do an incredible surgical operation of my mind, essentially, where I went really deep into meditation. Now, what was really good in this regard is because I'm thinking constantly as a male manager, what do I need to be doing next? What do I need to be doing next? Do I need to ring the gong now? Is there something else I should be doing other than meditating? All these thoughts were cycling through my head, particularly at the start of the retreat. And I was able to work with that as an object in meditation. So that was a really good application. Now I can bring that out into real life, that these thoughts are just arising and passing away. Now, another incredible benefit is, and words can't describe the benefit of this, is the power of Sangha, of being around people that are like-minded. I got to work alongside incredible people. The assistant teacher that I was working along with was, while giving me profound advice, you can also look to them and you see the benefit that they've reaped in their practice. And you draw from that. You really draw from that. So my teacher had incredible presence. He really listened to when you were talking to him. He didn't judge you in any way. And it was really a reflection of what deeper levels of practice can achieve. And I'll give an example. These are the sorts of people you meet. I met this amazing Japanese guy who was serving, and essentially we became pretty good friends. We were chatting throughout the retreat whenever we could, and at the end of the retreat, he personally made everyone in the course that was serving a little handmade crane with a personalized message in it, saying how much he appreciated spending time with me, how much he respects the work I'm doing. And like, man, where else do you meet these type of people, you know? Like, that make a genuine effort to show their appreciation for meeting you. Made me tear up. Like, I broke down in front of this guy. It was it wasn't even embarrassing. It was just genuine and wholesome. Like, I felt really touched by that. And yeah, like, those are the sorts of people you meet when you serve. So you meet, the power of Sangha is incredible. It just benefits your life and your practice. And there's one last thing I want to touch on. And I wish I knew this before going in, but I had a pretty profound realization about day 7 on the course. Because I initially wanted to attend the retreat as a student, I didn't want to serve. I wanted to go deeper into my mind. I sort of went into this retreat with what I now realize was more of an intention to serve myself. Even though I was a male manager, I took full opportunity of the meditation opportunities of 8 to 9 hours a day. But because I was focused so much on myself in that regard, I missed out on the wonderful thing that is being of service, of putting people before yourself. So for the first 7 days, I was getting deeper and deeper and deeper into my meditation. I made some pretty profound insights, and understandings in my practice. And while I was making these insights, and while I was working hard, I was communicating what I was experiencing to my teacher, my assistant teacher. And because I was communicating these sorts of profound experiences I was having, I think my meditation teacher picked up on the fact that I was focusing pretty heavily on my own practice rather than being of service to people. So he said to me, "Sam, I'm not saying that you're doing a great job serving, you're doing all of the tasks, and you're communicating any sort of queries and questions students are having, but allow this to percolate. Allow this to percolate in your mind that when you serve, you're here to serve. Allow that to be the number one priority and see what happens." And essentially when this happened, it made me realize, and it pulled me out of my own practice. And it made me think, wow, I'm here to serve. I'm not here for myself. And it started cueing in more and more thoughts of, how can I be of service to these people that are meditating? What can I do to make sure everything's clean? Can I make sure everything's stocked up? Is there anything else I could be doing to benefit the students? And as soon as I made that shift in perspective, I felt more compassion and a desire to give and to serve, and that in turn fueled my practice. Because I've had more positive emotion, I'm serving people, I'm giving value back. It made me feel good, and then it helped with my practice. Because if we develop our practice solely with the intent of developing in our concentration and our wisdom, which will liberate us from suffering, but if we don't train in morality, we're hindering our practice. We could be feeling much more positive emotion, and we could be making the world a better place. So I'm very grateful that my assistant teacher pulled me aside on day 7 and made that inquiry, because it really helped. And from that, I drew from that, and now I just want to keep giving service. I've never felt this way before, where I actually want to just help people. I want to help people more, and it's coming from a genuine place. It doesn't feel fake, like, oh yeah, I could do charity work or something, and it's sort of superficial and there's no real reason why I'm doing it. Yeah, the kookaburras agree. And the dog, I'm sure you can hear those. Ruin my video! But but you get the point. Now I want to finish up with some tips on how to have a better retreat and a better experience. When you go to serve on retreat, we are presented with this incredible opportunity to train ourselves to be happier, to be of service, to disintegrate our egos, the sense of I, me, my, and just to selflessly give back. Now it's very rare to have this opportunity, so make the most of it. Every day, I would say, set the intention at the start of the day, and even throughout the day, whenever the volition comes up, I am here to be of service. I am here to give back. And notice how that feels when you are doing that. If you're working in the kitchen, if you're working as a manager, when you're there to give service, it feels good, and it's good for you, and it's good for everyone else, and it's good for your practice. So make the most of it. I am here to serve people. I would also say set the intention to be as mindful as you can. When you're walking, pay attention to the sensations on your feet. When you're cooking in the kitchen, pay attention to the movements, the fine, subtle movements, and realize that things are arising and passing away. This is gold practice for our moment-to-moment experience, and make the most of this incredible opportunity if you're doing it. And my third tip would be to renounce everything. When you're serving, you're actually given the opportunity to keep your phone with you, you're allowed to read, and all sorts of things like that. But I would say get rid of your technology. You're there to train your mind. There's nothing more important than that. If you can overcome the short-term gratification of checking your phone and messaging your loved ones, which is, within reason, obviously, if there's something you really need to communicate with them, communicate with them. But submit yourself to the experience. Just submit yourself and you will get more benefit out of it. And because you're given the opportunity to read, I found incredible benefit from reading books and then immediately applying that to my experience, my meditation experience. I was reading Mastering the Core Teachings of the Buddha by Daniel M. Ingram. And it was so good for my practice to just be reading that book and then, okay, how can I implement this? Then coming back, oh, I had this problem. What can I do here to overcome it? So that was so beneficial. I'd highly recommend that. Okay guys, with that out of the way, I know this video was quite rambly. Let me know if you found value from this video and what you found value from. If you've had any similar experiences serving or anything like that, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'm looking forward to creating more content for you in the future. And if you're off to serve, if you're off for a 10-day silent meditation retreat, make the most of it. We have this one beautiful life. When we go on retreat, we really have the capacity to develop a healthy mind that we can then take out into the world and make it a better place. So let's make it happen. Thanks so much for watching guys. See you in the next video.